Sky Blue Fans TV. For the fans, by the fans.
Evening and welcome to Sky Blue Fans TV. I'm Milesy. Yes, I'm back in my bar in my back garden. Not Tenerife, honest, it's not Tenerife, but yeah, thought I'd do the show this evening. We've got a really exciting show for you. Later on, we've got a little Watford fan coming on to have a little chat about this weekend's game, and also we've got a couple of guests coming waiting in the wings for us now, which will bring them straight in. But first, just want to say a big thank you to Mr. View Sky for the intro video again. He does it every single week for us, gives us the old videos for the old intros, and I've got a little surprise for you coming up just after the break at 8 o'clock. A real nice surprise for you, taking the years right back, way back. And we've got a little bit of a spot the ball coming up and a little quiz question coming along the bottom. So very shortly. So with no further ado, let's get our guests in here. First of all, he's always coming on. He comes on when England are playing in the World Cup, in the Euros. And he's got the little one off to bed nice and early tonight. Let's introduce Mr. CJ Joyner. Good evening, CJ.
Good evening, Miles.
All good, mate? All good?
Yeah, very good.
Good. How getting there now? All good?
Yeah, it got me air back. So, yeah.
I bet that was nice, wasn't it?
Let it grow.
Washing that for the first time.
Yeah, cracked open that shampoo for the first time. Yeah.
Brilliant stuff. Love it. Absolutely love it. And we have got, where is he? Where's he gone? Oh, he's here. He's outside the shop. Ken Stewart. Good evening, Ken.
Good evening. How are we? All right.
All good, mate. All good. How's the new superstore? All right.
Very good. I'm outside here now. There's been all sorts of people here today. Mark Robbins and a few of the players, and I just had a little chat with Doug King, but he didn't give me any information about any transfers impending. He did say he's hoping to get a couple in the door, and that's all he'd say. So yeah, all good, mate. And the store looks brilliant. It looks fantastic.
Well, we've got some photos. Yeah, we've got some photos, so we'll show them a little bit later on. And we have got a real special guest. I'm so chuffed with this one. We got a writer who's just brought out a book. I'm just sneaking over this way because I've got everything written down here. When the Sky Was Blue, and it's Rich Chamberlain. Good evening, Rich Chamberlain.
Evening, chaps. You all right?
Good evening, Rich.
Yeah, brilliant, Rich. Brilliant. Thanks for coming on, mate. By the way, can I just say a big thank you for introducing us in your book?
No problem at all.
It's fantastic. As I was saying to just off air, I'm not a brilliant reader. So today at work, the Microsoft has been reading the book to me, and the first page, or I think it was second page, it mentions Sky Blue Fans TV. And out of all the podcasts, out of all of them, we're first. Oh,
That's the problem.
Brilliant stuff. Now listen, right, we'll come to the book in just a minute, but first of all, we're going to do this every Thursday night now. We've got Spot the Ball. Now during the night, send me your answers. We're going to put your name. You're going to put your name down on here on this little piece of paper, and you can only pick one ball. You can't have two goes. You can't have three goes. This is for everyone that's watching, and for CJ, Rich, and Ken. So you have a go. No one got it last week, so we've still got a couple of prizes to give away, and I think we're going to add each week another prize. So the prize, it could be like Cracker Jack, and you end up having a big arms full of prizes. So we got a couple of prizes to give away tonight. So this is a picture from last week's game at Sunderland from block 15. Where's the ball? Get your guesses in. There you are. There's your numbers 1 to 14. So
number 9.
Have a little look
number
at
9.
that. Have a look at that. Ken's saying number 9. Okay, Ken's saying number 9.
I think
CJ,
9.
what do you reckon?
I was thinking 10 from where the centre half's looking.
Okay, number 10.
Yeah.
And Rich, what do you reckon, mate?
Oh, I'll go 8, please.
Number 8 for Rich.
That's a good
Okay,
shout,
so that's
actually.
down there now. Brilliant. Yeah, loving it, loving it. So yeah, we're going to do this every week. It's a little bit of fun. Absolutely loving it. Claudio's come in here, has put number 10. Sky Blue Hub have put number 11. Wayne Vaughan's put number 10. Julie Thomas, number 7. And what's that? Jamie Cobb fan for life, number 4. Oh, it's all going. It's all going. This is brilliant. Love it. I tell you what, I love this section of the show. It's just so cool, man. It was great because it was Ken O'Connor who comes on here, give us the idea, and we just thought we'll roll with it. And it is a good laugh in it. So, yeah, football, see which number it is. There you go. We'll bring that back up very shortly again. So, let's get on to the book then, shall we? When the sky was blue. So, how did this all come about, Rich? What made you decide to write this book?
It was last Easter. I just had the idea. I'm a teacher. I'm a primary school teacher now, but before that, I was a journalist, and I'd always had this thought. I wanted to do something Cov related, and I'd never really managed to make anything work. And then I just had this idea because I was thinking back about the Premier League years, and 92, 93, that was our first game I went to was when we lost against Wimbledon, Highfield Road. So I just started thinking about those years really, and thinking back, I just thought to myself, I think I really took them for granted because that was when I came into supporting Cobb. I just thought, well, we'll always be there. We'll always have these kind of great players, and obviously, as we've found, that hasn't been the case, has it, for quite a long time. So I just thought I'd like to go back and relive those years a little bit, reevaluate them, and kind of just have another look at them and appreciate them a bit more. So I just started, but I didn't want it to be just like my thoughts, because really, who cares what I had to, my memories of it or what I had to say. So I wanted to go back and talk to as many of the players and the managers and the people, the key people. So I just started reaching out over social media, and a few came back pretty quickly. Guys like David Thompson, John Stelarco, Jonathan Gould, these kind of guys came back pretty quick. So I just thought, I'll just give it a go. And I didn't tell them that I haven't got any kind of book deal at this point, or I haven't got any interest. No one's shown any interest. I've just had this idea, and I'm just going with it. But I just went with it. I started doing the interviews, and as it went on, I thought, I've got something to go with here. I was just doing it for my own interest to start with, but then it just kind of went from there.
I mean, how did you get in touch with the players? How did you get in touch with them to get the to get them to come towards you and come and have a chat with you? I mean, how did that all come about? Because I mean, we find it hard enough to get players on here and things like that, ex-players. Yeah. So how did it all work for you? How did you manage to get hold of it? Because what I've heard so far of the book, or read, well, meant to have read, but as I say, it read it out to me. It's real good insight, because you've spoken to like Paul Williams and things like that. I mean, it's just a flying postman. I mean, that's brilliant. So how did it all happen?
It was just, it started, there was literally just on Twitter, just tweeting, direct messaging players, or Instagram, or, that's how it first started. And then I found once you get one, then they start, it has a bit of a domino. But I remember Huckabee said, I told him that who I was kind of trying to talk to, and he said, well, if you get Stelarco and you get Richard Shaw, then I'll do it as well. So then I went and got those two, and then come back, and there's a lot of done it, and then he kind of got on board. And then from Huckabee, it's easier to get to Dublin or get to Whelan, and it was a lot of this. And it was also Ed Blackaby, the former Players Association, was a massive help with just getting messages out to people. He helped with some of the early ones as well, guys who were a bit harder to get, like Robert Rosario, or these kind of guys that had gone a bit more underground almost. some of the earlier 90s kind of guys. And then someone like, it got to the point where I thought, I've got some good stuff here, but I thought, if I'm going to make it work, I need some of the big names as well. And I had some good names already, but two that were real turning points for me was Gordon Strachan and Ron Atkinson. And Gordon Strachan, I'd interviewed Gavin, his son, and I just texted him, and I thought, it's a bit cheeky, but I just texted him saying, look, I'd love to talk to your dad about this. Has he got like an agent or something who I could contact? And he texted me back saying, oh, here's his number, just text him. Which I was a little bit, bloody hell, Gordon Strachan, but I texted him on a Sunday morning, and got to Sunday evening and he hadn't replied, and I thought, oh, he's probably not into this. But he messaged me back the Sunday night saying, yeah, I'd love to do it, which I was a bit surprised, because I thought, I've not heard him talk loads and loads about his time at Cobb. I know that obviously with the relegation, I didn't know if he'd want to talk about it, but he did, and that was a really big one. And then Big Ron, I tried to get Big Ron through Twitter, but I thought, well, it's probably not him actually managing the Twitter. It's probably an agent or someone. And I tried his agent, but again, that was more for booking for him for events and things. So I didn't get anywhere with that. But I thought, oh, well, I think I know which city he lives in. So I Googled Ron Atkinson, name of the city that I thought he lived in. And loads of things came up. And one of them was like a news story. And it said like Ron Atkinson, and then the name of a street. I'll Google the name of this street. So Google the name of the street. And I thought, there's some big houses there. I thought, Big Ron, if he probably lives in somewhere like this. So I know this sounds like a stalker now, but I wrote him a letter, and I just said who I was, what I was doing, put my details, and I just put on the envelope, Ron Atkinson, just the name of this street. I couldn't put a number because I didn't know the number, the name of the city, and I posted it thinking, there's no way I'm ever going to hear anything back from this, unless it's like a restraining order or something. And then I was at work, I was teaching, and I was on my lunch. It's about 3 days later, and I looked at my phone at lunch, and I had a voicemail. I thought, oh, who's rang me? And it was, oh, hi, Rich, this is Ron Atkinson. I hear you want to talk to me. He said, here's my number. Try me. You might reach me, you might not. It's potluck. And then he went, and I put the phone down, and the kids just started coming back into class. I thought, oh, I want to go and ring Ron Atkinson. I've got to go and teach double science or something. So I got to the end of the day, rang him, and he was great. He was on the phone for about an hour or so. And the thing with Big Ron was he could just remember everything. He's getting on in years, bless him. But, he remembered every game. He remembered every goal scorer. He remembered the minutes of the goals. I couldn't believe he just knew it all. So yeah, those two were absolutely massive. And yeah, like I say, a lot of it was just building on. You get one, and then it leads you on to another one. Yeah, I just kept going with it as well. I did get to the point where I thought to myself, I think I've got it now. I was waiting for Dion, and I managed to get hold of Dion and spoke to him. And then I thought, I think I've done it now. I thought, but I'll just give it one more go, just send out, one more chase to these guys. And then in that last week, I managed to get Whelan, Oggy, Peter and Love, and Robbie Keane, which was like the last, I'd nearly given up, So then to get those four as well, it just went way beyond what I thought it was ever going to be, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, having all those guests and all those players, I mean, it must have felt like it was like a massive jigsaw puzzle, and trying to put it all together. How did you figure out where to start and where to end it? I mean, obviously you got the years, but I mean, having spoken to all those people, it must have been mind-boggling of which order to do it all in.
Yeah, so I think I ended up with about 50 interviews that I did. And yeah, I'd kind of, the ones, so whoever it was, someone like Richard Shaw, obviously he was there for quite a few years, but I talked to them all about the whole time. I didn't just think, oh, I'll talk to him about 1996 or whatever. So I got everything I could, and then just wrote it all up, transcribed up all the interviews, and then I just have like a Word document for each season, and I just started getting the quotes. Okay, these quotes relate to 1995, 96, or whatever. So I just copy and pasted everything for each season into a Word document from all the different players, and then my background is in magazines, and for the magazines that I worked on, you had like it was music magazines. If you had a band on the cover of the magazine, you were looking at about like 5,000 or 6,000 word story. So I treated each chapter as kind of like that. I thought, well, I'm aiming for about 6,000 words on each season, and I just started then kind of filtering out any bits that were repeated, or thinking what the key bits were. And really, I wanted that to be what drove the book, really, the interviews. I didn't want it to be lots of me talking. I wanted it to be, I wanted it to be Gordon Strachan's memories of the time, or, Dion or Oggy or whoever. So that was kind of how it came together. It came together pretty quickly, to be honest, after that. I think I started sending that first email at Easter last year. The book was picked up by the publisher in June, and then I finished it by about December. So a lot of that time as well was like the chasing up of the players, because some did take some chasing, and it's one of those where, obviously for me, this was like my whole focus of everything, whereas for them, it's not. They've got a million other things going on. But for me, I was waking up at 2 a.m. thinking, has Julian Darby texted me back? Or have I got an email from Willie Boland or something? Which I realise is probably not a sentence that most people would say, but that was kind of where I got to, and it just completely took over. That I do kind of wish that I could go back and do it again, knowing that I was going to get all of these different players, because at the time I was kind of stressing, thinking, oh well, if I don't get Huckabee, or if I don't get Dublin, or if I don't get whoever, but I wish I could go back and do it again, knowing that I did manage to get the vast majority of them. But yeah, that's kind of how it all came about and how it came together.
Brilliant. I absolutely love it. Now, listen, we're going to carry on in just a sec. I just want to spot the ball back up. So we've got spot the ball, guys. Which number is it? Get your numbers down. We've got some prizes to give away. And we had 2 prizes last week. I think we're going to add to that, aren't we, Ken? So, you're going to get three prizes now. So give us a spot the ball, give us a number. You have one go at it. You've got to stick with that one number. We'll come straight back to Rich in just a sec. So is it number 1? Is it number 3? Is it 13? I don't know. Give us a give us your guess. Get it in there. We'll get you down. If you get it right, we'll pick a number at the end of the show. If there's more than one of you get it right, and you could win some Sky Blue Fans TV merchandise. So let's get back to Rich. And Rich, when you started this book, was this when you? So the beginning of it, I think it was 88. You started the book from, wasn't it? John Sullett era. Is that when you started following the Sky Blues? Is that why you started at that point?
Yeah, so for me, I kind of started 92, 93. So I wanted it to be the Premier League years, but I wanted to do like a little chapter before the first chapter, almost, of like the years that ran up to it. So yeah, I did kind of from 88 to 92, just as a bit of a a quick kind of, here's what led us to 92 to the first Premier League season. But yeah, that was, I think it was January 93 was that Wimbledon game that I went to, the first game. So I think I was kind of 7 then. So that was the first game I went to, and then that's where I kind of got into it, and I was just obsessed. And as we all are, but I think at that point, when you kind of 7 till, I guess, whatever it would have been, 14, 15, when we were relegated, those years, I was just the biggest nerd for the whole Premier League. I was obsessed with, the whole thing. So that was when I was, just getting into football.
Yeah. Now, I mean, what shocked me was where you started the book off. And you've spoken to Stuart Linnell and things like that, who's a good friend of ours. He's been on our show. Good evening, Stuart, if you're watching. you mentioned about how they sacked John Sullick, and he was ill in bed. So was it Stuart that told you that?
Yeah, and then a couple of the players had mentioned that as well. I spoke to guys from that time, like Mickey Ginn. There was a few that I'd kind of spoken to, and yeah, they said, you know, how John said, hadn't been very well treated considering what had come before, and then moving into then Terry Butcher, which he didn't work particularly well. And then back to Bobby, a big character for the start of the Premier League.
I mean, that when you mentioned Bob, you've just mentioned Bobby, and how, you know, I think they said that something along the lines that you didn't have a big budget to go and spend, so he went out and got players from the lower leagues like he did in his first spell. I mean, that must have been fascinating to hear how he found John Williams and Stuart Pearce.
Yeah.
I mean, tell us that bit about Bobby when he went to see Stuart Pearce.
Oh, the story from his first time about when took his wife, and he said he'll take you out for dinner, and it was take you out. It wasn't out for dinner; it was out to watch a football match, to go and watch Stuart Pearce. And I think he stayed for about 10 minutes. Saw Pearce put in a tasty challenge on the winger, and thought, yeah, it'll do for me. And off they went, and they signed him the next week. So, you know, talking to Bobby, he's just such this larger than life kind of character with it. You know, there were a few of the players mentioned about, I think it was in Bobby's book, I'd read about one of the ways that he solved problems with, you know, players weren't getting on. He'd tell them, just, you know, get everyone kind of round in a circle. The two lads who were having a disagreement, you go in the middle, have a bit of a wrestle, and you'll figure it out. And I asked a few players about that, and I think it was Tony Sheridan and Willie Boland said, yeah, he did do that. He said, you know, he did it once. The lads got in there and they kind of bottled it and said, I think we'll just shake hands, and off they went. So, you know, these things about Bobby, that he was obviously a very unusual character, even by those days. But he was, you know, loved the club clearly and did a good job. You know, and obviously then it was really interesting getting into the stories, and then you're hearing about, you know, Bobby's time, and there was players like Robert Rosario, like John Williams, who just could not speak more highly of him. And then, you know, with everyone, there's a few who weren't quite so keen. You know, Stuart Robson was one who wasn't so keen on Bobby and Phil Neal, and hearing his side of things and how his disagreements and all of that. And, you know, it was just so interesting to kind of get the stories.
Yeah, I mean, is there anything that's not in the book that you weren't able to put in that you could share with us?
I don't think
we tried with Shawsey.
I don't think there was too much. No, I don't think that. To be honest, everyone was very positive. Everyone was so positive about the club, and, you know, the vast majority of the players I spoke to would say it was the best time of my career. You know, I know Dion gets a lot of stick for for going to Villa, but he raved about his time at the club. You know, and that's the thing. With the book, I wanted it to be the story from the players, so I guess it is quite positive in its tone, even though there were moments that weren't always great. But there's a lot of kind of positivity from the players, and obviously the managers at the time. So there's a lot about team spirit and how well that group, particularly kind of 95 to like 90, 98, how well they all got on. So yeah, no, there's nothing, not too many that were left out.
And what about the best character that you interviewed? Who was your favourite of all of them? I mean, I know they're all brilliant. I mean, I remember doing when Roy Regley and Kobe Jones was there. I see that you interviewed Kobe Jones.
Yeah.
I did their Christmas party one year, DJ'd and did a karaoke at their Christmas party, and Kobe Jones, Wegley, and all that were there, and it it was just fantastic. So for you to interview those sort of players, who was your favourite, or did you just love them all?
I did love them all, to be honest, and it was one of those I had to kind of pinch myself a little bit. Hearing all these guys who had gone to sea, for years. A few, Robert Rosario was amazing, and he was such a lovely guy, and he's been, he's emailed since, just being really supportive. But he was great. There's the obvious big characters, guys like Mickey Quinn. Robbie Keane was amazing to get. Dion, Huckabee, all of these guys. A couple that perhaps I didn't know what to expect. Tron Saltvet was hilarious. I had no idea that he was going to be so great, but he was brilliant. He was telling me things. He came out with a few great stories. He said about how in his first season, he said he found it really difficult to understand Gordon Strachan. He said, I had to learn English the hard way through Gordon Strachan. And he said, but by the second season, Strachan would always, they'd have like little 5-a-side games or whatever. And he said Strachan would always pick Saltvet on his team. And he said so much so that he just got to know really get to know him well. And he said it got to the second season. He said Dion would come up to him and he'd say, Tron, what's he saying? And he'd be translating for Dion what Strachan was saying. And he said that they called Saltvet, they called him Strachan's son. And he said they'd get to 5-a-side games and Dion would just say, Tron, just go and stand with your dad, because he'd always pick him on his team. So things like that I just had no idea that Saltvet, he'd be such a great character. But yeah, there was a few like that I wasn't sure. Simon Howard as well, I've got to mention, who obviously wasn't here for very long. Came from Cardiff. He was one who he's not in the book loads. There's only a little bit about his time at the club in the book, but in terms of his story, he just spoke about, the fact that he came over as like a kind of a 19-year-old, from Cardiff, moving to Coventry. His dad had passed away. His mum didn't drive. He didn't drive. And he said he came from a council estate in Cardiff and was just told, there's a housing estate over there in Coventry. Go and, buy yourself a house and just get on with it. And just hearing his kind of story and those kind of stuff. Cedric Russell was another one who had, these kind of stuff. Kobe Jones as well. These players who moved and were just left to get on with it, really, in a way that wouldn't happen now. And that was really interesting, hearing about that kind of thing. Cedric Russell as well, obviously mentioned there. Was so lovely. The book, it'd already all gone to press when Cedric actually passed away, but I would like to kind of dedicate it to him, really, because I've got great memories of watching him. He was such a lovely guy, and he spoke so warmly about the club, and he spoke with a lot of excitement about how he wanted to come back kind of this season, get to the ground and see a game, and it was terrible news that came across in the summer. But yeah, lots of these guys they were just great. It was all, like I said, it just went way beyond what I was expecting.
I'd be starstruck. I know that. I know CJ and Ken would be as well. Now listen, we'll come straight back in just a sec. Let's spot the ball up. Here we go. I nearly clicked the wrong button again. Then pick your number. Give us a guess. You can win some prizes. Number 1 to 14. This is a picture that was taken from Singer's Corner last week against Sunderland. So pick your number. You can win some prizes tonight. Get it down, and you can have a little go. And we've got some prizes to give you this evening. Later up on the show, we've got some snippets of the new club shop, because Ken's been there this evening. And before that, we're just going to have a quick short ad break, and we'll straight back with a nice prize straight after.
Sky Blue Fans TV, for the fans, by the fans.
Welcome back to Sky Blue Fans TV. I'm Milesy. We've got CJ Joyner with us. We've got Ken Stewart, and we've got Rich Chamberlain, the author of When the Sky Was Blue. Now, listen, I've got a little bit of a surprise for you all. We're going to try and put this bit in every Thursday night, round about 8 o'clock, just to go back in time when things were slightly different at Highfield Road. And I hope you'll all remember this one. I love this one because I remember sitting in the main stand downstairs in front of those weird boxes. So we're going to put this little clip on for you, courtesy of Mr. View Sky. If you haven't seen him, he's on YouTube, he's on Twitter, and he's got all old clips. Here's one for you. I think like about 2 minutes long.
Coventry's free kick to be taken by Stuart Pearce, who was playing in the Alliance League just a couple of months back. Looking for the tall figure of Dave Bamber, number 9. Little Gibson is there. And a good effort. And Gomard didn't hold it. And he held the second one. He did. It's there. And Platnauer got in to score. Grobbelaar in despair. Terry Gibson caused the first concern. Grobbelaar didn't hold his shot. In came Nicky Platnauer. Got a jab on it. It hit the goalkeeper and it rolled. Yes, he got his head to it as well. Over the line. 40 seconds is the time of the goal, and Nicky Platnauer, 22 years old, who came here from Bristol Rovers following the manager Bobby Gould, is the scorer. There are 3 the other way for Coventry, and Bennett may go again, and Gibson off the post and in by little Terry Gibson. 2-0 to Coventry. Roberts. Bennett takes on Hansen this time. He gets round again, although Bennett has actually taken the outside route against Kennedy and Hansen, and he's profited from it several times. He forced a corner there, which Gin will take. And Bamber is forward. And Gibson shot, and number 3. Grobbelaar stands and wonders what's happened here. And what has happened is that Liverpool are 3 goals down. And Gibson has beaten Neil. Is it on here for number 4? Gin and Bamber to his right, and Gibson has completed a hat-trick. What a marvellous day for Terry Gibson and for the supporters. Into Coventry from Spurs, only 5'5". But when he beat Phil Neal there, he had 2 choices. Does he pass to his right, or does he go on himself? He curled it round Grobbelaar, in off the post.
About that brings back some memories, doesn't it, CJ? Do you like that?
Yeah, it's good, that.
Some great memories, yeah.
Yeah,
I was
like
there.
that.
I was there that day.
Yeah.
Oh, I'd love that because I was there that day, and as we know, we got a picture with Terry Gibson afterwards as well, which was good.
Yeah, well, and Rich, did you like that one? That's good, isn't it?
Yeah, I think, just watching it, you remember, and from the, some of these guys that we've managed to speak to, you forget all those big characters sometimes that we've had. We've had so many big names and, like I say, big characters with, all these great stories to tell. We've been kind of spoiled over the years a little bit.
Now, I was going to ask Rich. Obviously, Bobby Gould was the manager then. Did he go into the reasons why he quit at QPR in the dressing room at that time? When he spoke to him, Bobby Gould.
He did, yes. He spoke about, because obviously I spoke to Brian Richardson as well, which was one that, to be honest, when I got the chance, I thought, that's a bit of a controversial one with a few. But I thought, well, if you want to know about Coventry in the 90s, no matter what's happened, he was there. Yeah. He's a good guy to, someone to talk to. He said that it was a story about Peter and Love being kind of sold, which obviously didn't happen. But then Bobby said that it was actually, he said that before the QPR game, that quite a few players had asked him if they could stay out in London afterwards instead of coming
Right.
home on the bus on the club,
Yeah.
with the rest of the club. And I think he'd kind of said yes, that these players could kind of stay out afterwards. And then he said, obviously, we then go and get thrashed 5-1. And he's kind of looked at himself in the mirror and thought, he kind of saw that as their mind was elsewhere, I think, and that he lost a little bit of the control. He said he was going to get back on the bus with five players, and we just lost 5-1. So he said that was kind of the reason behind it. Which, but then from all accounts, but with Bobby, it sounds like he's a very emotional kind of guy. So if he's made his decision, he's made his decision.
Yeah.
Listen, we've got a couple of comments coming. We've got our Watford guest sitting in the background, which we'll get on very shortly in about 5-10 minutes' time. So, Sky Blue Hub, was there any player or staff member you couldn't get to speak to that you really, really wanted to speak to?
I think there was only one or two that I didn't manage to get that I really would have liked to. Phil Neal was the only one of the managers from that time that I didn't manage to speak to. He was one of I got a message, managed to get a message to him, but he came back and said no, he wasn't really interested in talking about Coventry. He was very perfectly polite about it. Wasn't any problems. So he was one the manager that I didn't manage to get, and from the players, Gary McAllister was the big one that that I didn't get. With him, I managed to get to his agent, but didn't get beyond his agent. I think it's one of those where if I'd got a message directly to him, I think he probably would have done it if he'd known that Gordon Strachan's done it, Oggy, Dion, all these other guys, but I just could never get to him, as much as I tried. But apart from that, that was about it really. I think the rest were the ones that I managed to get. Like I say, it went way beyond what I was expecting to get Peter and Love and Robbie Keane and these guys. I just didn't ever think I would. So yeah, there was one or two, but I was really happy with who I ended up getting.
And as a volume 2 there, you could get the people that you couldn't get hold of. You can tell them you
version,
hold of, tell them and do a volume 2.
Don't get Gary McAllister on the phone.
That's it, yeah. Mark Smith, what was your favourite game of those days when you were watching way back?
I think the one that, as soon as you said that just came straight to mind was the Arsenal 3-2 on Boxing Day at Hyper Row with Robbie Keane scoring when Russell completely bullied Adams and Keown. I managed to speak to Ray Clark as well. Sorry, just going slightly off topic there. The scout who found Russell, and he said after that game he had the chief scout of Arsenal on the phone saying, "My boss wants to know where did you get him from?" Because they wanted to have a look at him. But then also from that same season, I think one that just edges it was when we beat Villa 2-1 at Highfield Road in that season, where Robbie Keane, Keane and Russell were fantastic again. And it looked like, I think at the time it looked like John Gregory was going to get the sack, and I don't think he. I think he.
I think I remember the fans singing, "You're going to get the sack in the morning."
Yeah, I think he wouldn't sack afterwards, but I remember that was the big thing, and Robbie Keane spoke about that as well. That there was a lot of focus on that Villa would go to kind of $5.5 million to sign Keane in the summer, but it wouldn't go to $6 million, and then he's come in and he scored against them, and I think that one for me was probably the one that just sticks out above the rest.
He celebrated right in front of Gregory, didn't he?
Yeah.
And I remember as well that the Russell goal was my favourite ever Cov goal, where Chippo sent it out wide, Keane put the ball in, and then that bullet header at the near post. A really simple goal. It was my favourite ever goal. Yeah. Loved that night. It was a night game. It was on Sky, wasn't it?
Yeah, great.
Didn't Dublin score? Did Dublin score a header as well?
Yeah, I think it was Dublin who scored.
I think he did actually. Yeah.
Now, I know you got to go in a minute, Rich, but what we're going to do, one more spot the ball for everyone to have a little look at, and then we're going to bring in our Watford fans. But before we do, Rich, you going Saturday?
I can't, mate. I can't this Saturday. No, I'm a bit out of the loop this season, to be honest. But I'll be back in shortly. Hopefully, I'll be able to get down to this new shop and get my shirt as well at some point, as I didn't pre-order.
Looks fantastic.
But yeah, it looks great. Hopefully, we'll get the book in there as well at some point.
Yeah,
it'd be nice.
Be good. And where can people get your book from, please, Rich? So everyone can go online now and order it.
Amazon's probably your best bet at the minute. Like I said, we've been talking about getting it in the club shop as well. Hopefully, it'll be there at some point. But probably Amazon's your best bet, probably your cheapest bet as well. It's a few quid cheaper on there. But yeah, thanks for having me on, and thanks to everyone who's shown any kind of interest in the book so far. It's gone a bit crazy, really. I kind of started writing it just for myself, and it's just taken on a bit of a life of its own.
And have you got us a copy so we can give one away as a prize later on?
Yeah.
Brilliant. Love it. Lovely
well,
stuff.
I'll tell you what. We'll let Rich give us a question, shall we? Rich, can you give us a question for somebody to win the book? Give us a Coventry City related question.
Let's have a think. Okay. Let me think. There is a Coventry City player who I believe was the last player to score a league hat-trick at Highbury. Who was that player?
Coventry City player to last score a hat-trick.
A league hat-trick at Highbury. It was on the opening day of one of the Premier League seasons for Coventry. And this guy was very proud to tell me that he said he was the first player for however many years to score a league hat-trick against Arsenal at Highbury. And he said he was the last as well because they knocked the ground down afterwards. So he was very proud of that.
Yeah.
So he
okay, good question. Yeah, I was there that game. I know the answer to that.
The last player to score a hat-trick at Highbury. Wow. Okay, love it. I love it. Absolutely brilliant. Love it, mate. Superb. Well, thanks again, Rich. Thanks for coming on, mate. Absolutely superb. Thank you very much. And good luck with the book. And
thank you.
You know, if you write another one, we'll get you on again.
Brilliant. Thanks, guys.
Cheers, mate.
Cheers, Rich. Thanks very much, mate.
Bye.
Cheers, pal.
Right then. So quickly, we've got a couple of Watford fans in the wings ready to come on. Spot the ball. Here we go. There we go. Spot the ball. Give us your numbers. Get in the draw for tonight. And you can win yourself 3 prizes now. 3 Sky Blue Fans TV merch. And just all you got to do is pick your number. You're only allowed 1 number. You can't change your minds. You can only pick 1 number. And
one entry per person.
That's it. And then the question that Rich has just given us, which Cov player was the last person to score a hat-trick at Highbury? If you can email us, please, at info@skybluefanstv.co.uk. Don't put your answers on the chat here because we won't be able to keep track of who you are. And I'm solo tonight, so I'm trying to juggle everything at once. So there's loads of people coming in here and telling us who scored that. But if you can email us, please, that would be great at info@skybluefanstv.co.uk. If you could email that over, the answer to the question, which is which Cov player was the last person to score a hat-trick at Highbury. So if you can send that over, info@skybluefanstv.co.uk.
We'll give them a week. I'll give them a week to do that. And so we'll do the draw next Thursday. Yeah.
Next Thursday. Brilliant stuff. Yeah.
So
next
you got
Thursday.
a week to do it. Yeah. You got
Superb. Lovely job. Now listen, CJ. Now we've got some Watford fans coming on, so please jump in. Ask anything you like. Yeah. Let's get you in, and then in a minute, when we've had them on, we'll come and have a little chat with you about the season so far. Also about what your feelings are, where we're going to go, and you know, is it really positive this season? So we'll get you in to have a little chat about that very shortly. Let's get 2 Watford guests on. We have got Justin. Good evening, Justin.
Hello. How are you?
All right, mate. Not too bad. Not too bad. I didn't know we were having 2 on. This is great. We've got Carl James. How are you, mate? You all right?
I'm good, mate. I'm good. Yeah, all good. Thank you.
Good. Now, did you just see Spot the Ball?
Yeah,
We did.
I'm nicking that. I'm having that. We're having that on ours now. Thanks for that. I'm having that idea. Look out on our social media next week. It's going to be Spot the Balls on there. Fantastic. Love it.
Spot the balls.
Yes.
So,
That's slightly different.
so-
Yeah, we won't go into that now, though.
Yeah.
can you pick a number, do you think?
So,
Wanna see it again?
Yeah, let me have a quick look.
Slam it again. Yeah, go on.
I was tempted by
Okay.
11. Yeah, 11 for
Give
me.
it you again.
Yeah, I think because
Is it-
11 and 1 are so grouply close together, it's one of them. I'll go with 1.
So Cole says 11. Justin says number 1. Okay,
Yeah.
lovely jubbly. Have it. Let's get our banners back up. There we go. So guys, thanks for coming on. I just want to say, you've still got the same manager at the start of the season.
Yeah.
So
You know
far.
what? Yeah, every podcast we go on, that is the first thing that everybody mentions, managers. Yeah, we have. Yeah, but who knows?
We've got a bone to pick with you though. What did you guys do to us at Wembley? We were rooting for you. You've let us right down with that one.
Coventry
No,
fans
wow.
that day.
Seriously.
We were very, very close. Very close.
Yeah.
And when it gets down to penalties, it's always potluck, isn't it? Potluck, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Well, there was a big portion of the town that were Coventry fans that day. So yeah, we felt that with you guys. We did.
Yeah.
It's
very
heartbreak.
sad
Yeah, absolute heartbreak. But I mean, have you guys ever? I can't remember off the top of my head, but have you guys ever had to go through that where you've had heartbreak, penalty shootout? You know, in a final or anything?
The worst one for me was Kevin Phillips, our old player playing for Crystal Palace, scored a penalty in the last couple of minutes in a playoff final.
Yeah,
that was a tough one to take. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
and Holloway was their manager, which didn't help either.
Oh right, yeah.
Now listen, how's your season going, lads? I mean, last time we spoke last season, I think you had 3 managers, and it was all like up in the air. We'd just beaten you 1-0 at your ground. I mean, how's it going for you, do you think, so far?
Well, scoring wise, not very good because we scored 4 in the first half of our first match, 4-0 up at half time. We're thinking this is going to be a good season. Haven't scored a goal since. And we've won 1, drawn 1, and lost 2. So, yeah, not very good, to be honest with you. I don't know if you feel any different to that, do you, Carl?
No, it's you know, the only positive is that we've still got the same manager that we started with. I guess is probably the one to go for. We're at the transfer window today, and it's looking like we've been let down by the owners yet again in terms of recruitment in trying to back a manager. So it's going to be a long, hard slug. We know that. I was saying on our podcast that this is the first season since obviously coming down from the Premier League that we properly feel and look like a bang average Championship side now. There's not really any players in that squad that you'd kind of pick out and go, you know, they're too good for the Championship. Maybe Imran Louza probably stands out, but he's got his own disciplinary issues at the club at the moment. So look, it's early days. You can't be too downhearted at the moment, but yeah, it's not the best of starts, shall we say?
So you're going through at the moment what we've been through for years is by not signing any players. All of a sudden, we're splashing the cash, and teams like Watford are just stuttering a little bit. Is there any news of anyone coming in tonight and tomorrow? Because the window shuts tomorrow.
Yeah, it's all rumour mill stuff. Keenan Davis that we had on loan from Aston Villa last season, who didn't set the world on light. He's apparently about to join Udinese, who's obviously our parent club in Italy. So there's a strong link there in terms that we might get him back on loan. But as I say, he didn't do too much last season. But apart from that, it's all players we're linked with. Players you never heard of. So yeah, there's not too much happening in terms of the transfers at the moment.
And what about your style of play? Because we're going through a transition phase at the moment. Like 9 or 10 players out, 11 players in. So our players are just starting to get to know each other. You can see what we're trying to do on the pitch when you're watching it. Are you still playing the same sort of nice football, or are you starting to hoof it, or are you still playing the same that you always have done?
It's not hoofing. It's a little bit more direct and a little bit more fast pace. It's playing out from the back a lot more. He's getting Daniel Backman, our goalkeeper, to start playing out and be almost like a sweeper. Not his natural position. He is going to get caught out on that this season. If he's going to continue doing that, you're going to see goals going in as he's trying to play out from the back. As I say, the first half of the first match, you'd have thought, okay, this is a whole new way of playing. I like this high tempo, high press. But that hasn't been sort of carried forward in the other matches as much. So it's not quite as ponderous as we're used to. There is a little bit more zip and a little bit more urgency, but not scoring goals is telling its own story, really.
Yeah. I mean, I think if you haven't got a striker that's banging in 20, 25 goals a season, I think any club in this league, especially this season, is really going to struggle, because I think there's only 5 teams in this league this season that have never played in the Premiership. So you could call it a mini Premier League this year, really, to be honest with you. I mean, going into Saturday, you guys coming up?
I'm up there. I go home and away. So yeah, we're making the short journey to Coventry from Watford. Looking forward. I was there last season as well with the 2-2 draw, which was a special game. But yeah, looking forward to it. It's a tough game. I think you've got your own challenges in trying to replace players that were creating chances for you last season. And we're very much similar. Goals have not been free flowing so far. So it's I really can't call it, actually. I really was talking to someone today. It could be 0-0 for all I know, but it could be 4-4. It really is going to be one of those games, I think, on Saturday.
Yeah, I think the lads above you here, old Ken and CJ, admit that Saturday against Sunderland, it was like a game of chess. It was like we're trying to sort of suss each other's out, and no one could get a real good shot away. No one could get a real clean cut chance. No one really tested the keeper. So do you think it's going to go that sort of way? Do you think both teams are going to be a little bit cagey, and it could end up being a 0-0?
Yeah, it's very cliche, but I think the first 15 minutes are really important in that game. Whoever gets the first goal, the other team's then got to go and chase. Not our strongest point in terms of trying to chase a game. Generally speaking, when we get in front, we'll stay in the game at least. But I think when we've got to go and chase the game from an early point of view, because the 2 wing backs bomb forward. And if you've got anything about you in the midfield, which we know Coventry have, they'll get in behind on those flanks. So yeah, it could be, like you said. I've watched the highlights of the Sunderland game for you guys. It could be very much a bit of a chess game again, just till we figure each other out.
Yeah, and Justin, is there anyone that we really need to be careful of this season going into this game on Saturday? Because obviously, you've had a few comings and goings. Who's the main threat for us this weekend? Who have we really got to look out for?
Well, Imran Louza, as Carl mentioned earlier, he's quite creative and can be a danger. A young lad called Yasser Asprilla can also surprise you. He's a little Colombian lad, and he does look as if he could be a bit of a handful sometimes. Not sure about our new striker yet, whose name I still haven't bothered learning. Carl?
Richovic.
Sounds about right, yeah. He came on for, thank you, yes. He came on for a few minutes at the end of the last match and put himself a bit, but didn't look particularly dangerous, but that might have just been because it was his debut. So I would look out for Louza and Asprilla for sure. I think they're probably going to...
I think one to mention if he does start, because he's had a few minutes now, Tom Ince, who's a proper shithouse in the Championship. He's going to fall over whatever chance he gets. So yeah, he's one to watch probably as well if he starts.
Yeah. I mean,
he seemed to. Sorry, he seemed to change things the other night when I can't remember who you were playing now. Your last game.
Blackburn, yeah, he did. Yeah,
that's it, when he came off the bench, it instantly it kind of took you that 5-10 yards further forward than where you would have been before he was on the pitch.
Yeah,
and I thought he looked really good.
That's the issue we've had, because he hasn't really had from what we understand, he hasn't really had a decent pre-season. Didn't see much of him at all. So I think he's obviously had his own injury issues, but he's a player that will get forward, and he allows, as I was saying before, he allows the wing backs, if they do press, he's going to be further up the field in front of them. Where at the moment we've got a guy called Ken Sema who will drop into the midfield and just leave that big ton of space. So for me, it'd be nice to see for Ince to start, but again, I don't know his sort of injury situation currently.
Yeah, and going into Saturday's game, we'll get some score predictions now. Ken, we'll start with you, mate. Scores for Saturday?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a tight game again. I think there will be goals. Hopefully. We don't want another 0-0, but I think we'll squeeze it. I think I'm going to go for 2-1. 2-1 Cov.
Yeah.
I think we will win, but it will be tight.
Yeah, and what about you, Justin? What are you going for this week?
Well, we're due a goal, I think, after not having one for so long. If I may join Ken, I'll go for 2-1 Coventry, actually. I'm not confident of a win. Yeah, I'm not confident of a win, mainly because it hasn't happened for quite a while. So, yeah, I'll go for a 2-1 as well.
And CJ?
I'm not as confident that we're going to see that many goals. I think 1-0 to us.
Oh, 1-0.
Okay. And Carl?
Well, I'm going to go and get splinters now. So I'm not allowed to predict this on our podcast, which is another story altogether. But I'm going to go. I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw.
Okay.
Yeah. I think it's going to be much the same as Sunderland. To be honest with you, I'm going for a 0-0. I never sit on the fence. 0-0. I just got a funny foot. We're still trying to find our feet. I just think that with so many changes we've had, we're going through a real transition stage now, and we've got to try and build again. So, like you said, Carl, we had such great playmakers in the middle with Hamer. He's now gone to Sheffield. We've lost Victor. So we're trying to find, Robbins is still trying to find his first best 11. So he's always swapping and changing the strikers. I could probably see Hadji, who's absolutely rapid. So I don't know what your defence is like at pace, but if Hadji starts, I think you're probably going to, if you haven't got a lot of pace at the back, I think you're going to struggle with Hadji this weekend because he is absolutely lightning. I don't know if you've seen a couple of his snippets, and if you watch the Leicester game, he comes straight on off the bench.
Yeah, he done well, didn't he?
Yeah, and he's won us a penalty at Wimbledon, even though we got knocked out by Wimbledon. We never have any luck in the Carabao Cup. It's a
nor do we. We're first rounders. We love going out the first round. Mickey Mouse Cup that's what we all say. Yeah,
so. They did well. They did well last night, though. Wimbledon, didn't they? They're very unlucky against Chelsea.
Yeah, unlucky against Chelsea. Yeah, they did. Yeah, Can I'll ask you guys a question if I can. How's Sims settled in? From the young boy who's coming from Everton, big price tag on his shoulders.
Yeah.
How's he settled in?
Well,
go on, Ken. I'll let you go with that one.
Yeah, I mean, he's struggling to start. He needs a goal for his confidence. Midweek in the friendlies we've had pre-season, he didn't look too bad, but he hasn't scored yet. He missed a couple of probably easy chances that he should have scored with in the league so far, but he hasn't quite got a goal. But he's only a young lad. He will get there. He's a good player, and I think he's a confidence player. And I think once he gets one goal, he'll go on and get a few more.
Don't worry, Ken, because Watford are coming to town on Saturday, so we'll give him plenty of opportunity. I can assure you.
Yeah,
it's just happened to get the first goal. I think and get that off his shoulders, and I think he'll be okay. But
it's hard, isn't it? It's hard for players especially when they come in with a price tag, and he wasn't first choice at Everton for too long, so he's got to find his feet, I guess. But I think I will say this while I'm on here. I think Coventry's story, especially last season, despite obviously how it ended. It's an amazing achievement from where you've come from. At the beginning of that season, you didn't even have a pitch. All the stuff,
exactly,
all the off the field
Yeah.
bits and bobs. It's that, and it's really, Coventry's a big club. Massive fan base. It's nice to see the Rico full. Which you've taken abuse for, even from me when I've gone up there and it's half empty. But fair play to you guys. I hope. I'd much rather have you been in the Premier League, ready to go with your big shiny stadium than tin pot Rovers who have beaten you to it. But hey ho.
Yeah.
It's one of those.
Yeah.
CJ,
And are you bringing many fans with you? Sorry,
We've sold our
What's that,
allocation. We've sold our allocation. Yeah, we're sold out. So I think it's 3,000 off the top of my head.
Oh, that'd be good then. It'd be good atmosphere then. Yeah.
Yeah.
And CJ, come to you about Ellis Sims. CJ, what do you make to his start after Carl asking it?
He hasn't set the world alight. He got a lot of pelters for Leicester, the game there. The thing is, he was getting double marked. Basically, as soon as the ball went remotely near him, he had two men like within the yard of him. So he found it very difficult. So I think at the end of the day, he's only 21, isn't he? That's how he's still developing as a player, really. So I think we do need to give him, but we need to put the price tag kind of to one side, really. See that I think he's somebody that potentially we need to look at his contract to think, you know what? Obviously, we don't want to be going down 2-3 years and still waiting for him to score. Don't get me wrong, but I do think we need to be looking at that and thinking we do need to develop him still. I think he's probably still a little bit raw. And I mean, he did all right at Sunderland, didn't he? And
yeah, he did.
I mean, he didn't look massively out of place when he was playing for Everton last season as well. So he scored a good goal against Chelsea. Very, 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 very similar goal to what Gyökeres would score, actually, that Chelsea goal. So yeah, kind of from kind of the left hand side and shot across the keeper. We saw that quite a lot. So, or remarkably though, despite how many goals he scored, most of them went wide, didn't they? But but which is mad, really, considering how many goals he actually scored. Yeah. But do you know what I mean? So I think there's a lot there's a lot of talent there, and there's a lot to work with. He's not a small lad, is he? So he's got that on his side as well. And yeah, I really want him to do well. I really, really, really do want him to come good, and I think he will. But he needs the time to do it. And it's whether we can give him that time. This is the problem.
Yeah. I mean, I think like you've said, Carl. I think the price tag on such a young shoulders, that he has got, I think is absolutely huge. And when you look at it, I think that you've got to, as I said, we're going through this transition stage. We're trying to change the way we play because we haven't got Big Vic, we haven't got Hamer. I think that the young lad, I think he will come good. You're seeing it in pre-season. There was a couple of situations at MK Dons. I know it was MK Dons are in League Two, but still he can only beat who you've got in front of you, and he still had to get the shots away. And when he did, he was hitting it first time and it was going in. Yet since he started in the league, it's sort of like as if he's gone scared, like a rabbit in the headlights. It's like as if pressure's got a little bit too much, but maybe he's just got to settle into Coventry or surrounding areas if he's moved to Leamington or Kenilworth or wherever. And I think once he settles in and he starts mixing with the players and they start getting the bond like we've been used to getting, I think he'll come good. He will come good. He's a quality. There's quality in there, and it's for you to ask the question. I think shows that you guys believe that he has got quality in there, because otherwise you wouldn't have brought the question up. So I think he
Coventry,
good.
Coventry wouldn't have paid the money if there wasn't quality there.
No.
There's obviously something. No. I mean, we had a player you're remembering called Andre Gray that we spent £18.5 million on. And that gives Justin nightmares still. That still not. I think we worked out it was I can't remember the figure now, but per goal it was something ridiculous. He cost us.
It's 1.5 million per goal or something.
Per
And
goal.
if you add on to that the wages that he had, as well as the signing, the fee and the wages, it was close to 30 million. Absolute waste. Do not start me on Andre Grant.
But that's the difference. That's the difference. But my point is that's the difference between the Premier League. You can go and have maybe 10 of those players in your squad where you've paid decent money. This kid's got a lot to prove. A lot to prove to himself as well. The price tag that he can cut it, and it's like you just said, he's young. It's just he's got his whole career ahead of him. So I'm sure he'll snap into it at this level. I just hope he doesn't start on Saturday. That's my only thing. Yeah. Funny that.
I mean, we got a comment on it, which is from Wayne Vaughan. He's put a comment up saying that Vic started off slowly, coming on loan from Brighton after being 6-month loan at Swansea. He came in January. He started off slowly, and look how that worked out. We signed him for $1 million. Mark Robbins and AD worked their miracles on him, and he become a 23 million euro striker.
Yeah.
So. And anything can happen. Anything can happen. Now, listen, lads, we've got to crack on. So, just want to say big thank you for coming on tonight. Thank you so much, guys. Absolutely superb. And if you're around Saturday, we'll be outside the new club shop Saturday live stream. If you want to come and grab us, have you got
your shirts yet? I hear you got problems with your shirts.
No.
No. Some of them have turned up.
No. No.
I got mine tonight.
Oh well done, good stuff. Yeah, all right. Well, yeah, I'm up there, so I'll be having a wander round. So yeah, if I see, I'll come and say hello.
Brilliant, lovely stuff. Cheers, guys. Thanks again,
guys.
We'll come on yours if you need us.
Pleasure. Yeah, lovely. Cheers, guys. Thanks a lot.
See ya.
Cheers.
Ta-da.
Right. So let's crack on. Spot the ball. Before we carry on, and we get some views off CJ and some photos from the club shop and everything, because we're running slightly behind tonight. There you are. Spot the ball. Give us your number. I will say there's been a couple of right guesses so far, so there is a few people in the prize draw. So we do have a winner tonight, which we didn't get one last week. So we have got a winner tonight. Give us a spot the ball. Where is it? Is it number 1? Is it 14? Is it number 10? Whatever. Just give us a shout, get your guesses in, and you could win a prize this evening. Ken, I've been asked by... I've got to find it. Where is it? I love this. Where's it gone? Anne, CJ's grandmother. Only joking, Anne. Only joking, Anne. You're lovely. I love you loads. Is Ken sitting in a coal bunker?
I'll tell you where I am. I'm outside the stadium and it's gone very dark now. I'm at the CBS. And,
you do know you've got a light.
I have got a light on in the car, believe it or not. There's a light on in the car, believe it or not. You can see me a little bit better now, probably. But it's gone dark. Obviously, I'm outside the stadium. I've done a bit of a video in the club shop this evening, which we'll see in it very shortly. And obviously, I didn't have time to get back home. So I've had to do the show from outside the stadium. I'm now sitting in my car. So
it's not very professional, Ken. It's not very professional.
Professional, remember
that. Yes, professional. So to do with the kits, let's have a look. CJ, you say you got your kit, yeah?
Yeah. Have you not got yours yet, Mark?
No, because I ordered mine with the away shirt and a pair of shorts from the holiday, and they won't send my shirt until the away shirt comes in, which is absolute bollocks. I'm going to say that tonight.
It's ridiculous, really, isn't it?
It's pathetic. Absolutely pathetic. And I can't get a refund because I paid with a voucher. So there's no point in me going to buy the shirt because they only refund me a voucher. So there's no point in me cancelling it to go and buy one. I can wait. Anyway, listen, we've waited since bloody June for it. I'm sure we can wait till... I mean, my mate Robin, he ordered his on day one. He still ain't had his. So he's watching tonight. Right, good evening, Robin. Coventry City home kit will not be available initially in the new superstore. Well, it is, actually. It's in there tonight. There it is in there. Ken's bought it, isn't you, Ken? Ken, he's gone quiet on us again. Anyway, CJ.
Rather than the aging superstar.
CJ, what do you make to this season so far?
I'd love to see us win. We've been winning. But I mean, there's only been one game so far. We haven't taken the lead in, and we haven't won yet. So yeah. I mean, it's I think to be honest with you, it's not just us. There's a lot of other teams in the league that have changed a lot of players, and it's been a case of finding not only a lot out about who you're playing against, it's about who you're playing with. And sometimes when that happens, the game could go either way. We saw that with the Leicester game. They had a large amount of quality, Dewsbury Hall in particular, and at the end of the day, he managed to do the business, didn't he? And he kind of showed he is really a Premier League player. But on another day, we would have won that. Another day, we would have won on the Tuesday, and that would have then meant, it was Wednesday, wasn't it, the Wimbledon? That would have meant that we could have had more game time for some of the 21s, kind of that. They would have been playing last night, possibly. I don't know. Well, I don't know. We're playing Chelsea, so but you don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not. I wouldn't necessarily say it's been a hard watch. I thought some of the games have been. I think the Swansea game in particular, that was a proper hard watch. I mean, how that game got 2 goals, 2 goals out of it, I don't know really. It was, yeah. I don't think anybody got value for money that day, really, out the entertainment. But yeah, it will come, and when it comes, I can see us winning the next game, and then the next game we'll get on a bit of a run. And as I said, there's a lot of players in that squad that are kind of still finding their feet in a new country, and that will eventually, I think they will come good. They will come good, and when they come good, the results will come.
And who's shone for you so far? Who have you been most impressed with?
We've not seen loads of him, but Sakamoto's looked really good when he's come on. I mean, Eccles, he's been. I wouldn't even say he's put in a 7 out of 10 performance yet. I think every single performance has been an 8 out of 10. He's been superb.
Yeah.
And we're going to get a bit of a selection headache coming soon when O'Hare comes back in a month or so, probably month, 6 weeks, and Alan as well. That's it's going to be a bit of a selection headache, isn't it? And
it's brilliant though. It's brilliant, isn't it? Because we've never had a selection
It's a good problem
headache.
to have. Yeah, it's a real good problem to have, isn't it? And you just look at the bench and compare it to previous seasons, where that's where the issues that we've had in the past have been most obvious when you look at the bench, and you see this 3 or 4 lads that were playing in the 21s, a couple of days before, but now we're sending those lads out on loan that would have been like the likes of Howley, Burrows, players like that. They would have either been starting or, well, Burrows started a fair few games last season, to be fair to him. So, but now he was sent him out on loan because we've got the cover that we could, that can play there. Again with Eccles, and Van Eywick is just. You could see he's got a lot. There's a lot there, isn't there? And again, he's still settling in, and there's still a lot there. There's not a lot to grumble about when it comes to him, but he's going to just get better and better, I think. So, yeah.
I think he's settling quite well, old Van Eywick, because he's been dancing in his new living room with his girlfriend. So I think he's happy enough. I just want to say I've just had message. Sorry, Sky Blue Hub. Ken O'Tommy's just told me Obviously, being live, I can't see any announcements. Ken O'Tonnell's just told me, Miles, the club have made an announcement 5 minutes ago. Lenny's correct. They've removed them moved them from sale. Yeah, no problem. Thank you very much. Sorry, Sky Blue Orbit. It was
Well, you know why that is. You know why that is, Miles.
Live. Why? Because we're talking about it.
Yeah. Well, you know, they were trying to sell one that was in a big envelope with Miles written on the front of it, weren't they? So probably,
mate. So yeah, as long as I get it before October, I don't care. I just like to start selling neon now signs in the shop. That'd be good, wouldn't it?
Where'd you get them from, Miles? Where'd you get them from?
You can get
Neon
now.
Yeah.
One of our partners. Yes, give them our code, and you'll get a discount off them as well, 10% off. Now listen quickly. Spot the ball. Then we'll look at some club shop pictures. Here's spot the ball. Give us your numbers. You got about another 5 minutes, 10 minutes at tops. Spot your ball. Tell us where it is. Is it number 1, 11, 5, 8, 7, 9, whatever? Just give us give us your number. I'll put it down on the list. If it's correct, you go into the hat tonight and you can win 3 items of Sky Blue Fans TV merchandise. Right. So Ken has been down the club shop tonight.
I'm still here now. Darkness. Yes.
Yeah. But first of all, I just want to say I'm a Premier League member, right? And I didn't even get an email.
Yeah,
I can't believe it. Right. Otherwise, I would have been there tonight. I didn't get an email. I think that's unbelievable. I'm not bitter. I'm just gutted because I should have got an email and I didn't get one. And I'm a Premier League member. And I think me and Ken, we bought our tickets day one when it was announced.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
I'm very disappointed with that. So shall we have a little look then? I've got a couple of little video clips. If you're all right with it, CJ, we're all right to show you some video clips.
Of course.
Where is it? The club shop opening. Wherever. Oh, here we go. So little club shop.
Guys, gather round over here. I know you're the key, but don't worry about it. Come on. It's easy, it's speedy boarding. You can get in there, there's lots of action there. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us this evening for what is the future of this football club under Doug's guidance. Many of you have seen lots of changes on the pitch, off the pitch, the actual pitch. You've seen more resource coming to the club. This is the new club superstore. It's what we need to drive things forward. You guys have been crying out for a bigger superstore for a long period of time as well. With Doug's investment, this has been able to happen and come to fruition. We've got lots more stock coming in as well, new lines coming in, that'll be coming in over the next few weeks, next few months. Thank you for your tremendous support. And now, over to the gaffer to do the official opening.
So there you go. Now, I think, now, I'm not blowing our own trumpet here, right? But I think we had a lot of say in this, Ken. Sky Blue Fans TV had a lot of say in this mega store because we've been going to the games and we've been videoing different stores at different grounds. What do you think, CJ? Do you think we've had a little bit of an input here?
You'd like to think so, wouldn't you? Yeah.
Well, we know he's seen the videos, so, you know. It'd be brilliant, wouldn't it? So I mean, a mega store. We've needed it. Let's bring up some pictures while we're talking about it. CJ, is it about time, isn't it, mate?
It is, yeah. I mean, I know it was 10 years ago, but yeah, there's the boss with
That's the boss.
with Ken. Yeah,
He didn't give us. He
yeah.
didn't give us any transfer info.
No. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't seem that long ago. It's probably, I think it was 10 years ago that we had a Barrow, didn't we, in Tesco's, and
Yeah.
I seem to remember some lads nicked it and took it down the wheat sheaf. So, but yeah, it just doesn't. To see where we are now from that point, it's positive, isn't it? It's only positive things, and just like little things like this, like these key rings and stuff like that. And are they fridge magnets, Miles?
Wow.
They are.
Yeah, I'm surprised that I'm still.
Yes.
You can tell that that there's still some. Well, you can tell you didn't get your invite because there's still some left. So you would have bought them all. So yeah,
They've even got
yeah,
footballs in there. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just
Now,
things like that. I mean, I'll always.
Go on, CJ.
Yeah,
Sorry, go on.
it's like I say, it's just really good to see, isn't it?
Yeah, it's brilliant.
Yeah.
For me, it's key for a club. I mean, when you go to Burnley's shop, I think for me, and Bournemouth shop was fantastic last season, and the season before with Bournemouth. Their shops just showed you how a shop should be. And when you go into a shop, you want to be wowed by Coventry City merchandise or your beloved football club. If you're bringing in players from all around the world, they're going to bring fans from all around the world. We were in the tavern last week, and there was we went in last Monday night, and there was a Japanese family in there. They're all wearing Cov City shirts. Now, I would hope that that's because of Sakamoto coming to the club. You need a store like this. You need a store where you can walk in, be wowed, and say, "Oh, look at that mug! I'll have that. Oh, look at that LED sign! I'm going to have that. Look at that notepad! Look at them coasters! Retro shirts. I'm going to buy all of those retro shirts," and all that revenue goes straight back into the club. And you think, this is what we need. You need to be able to go to a club shop on match day, walk in and walk out with something. We've been walking in our club shop, and all you've got is training gear and football shirts. That's it. Nothing else to walk home with and go, "Oh, I've got something new this week," And we've been crying out for something like this. For me, this is massive, isn't it? It really is massive, isn't it, CJ?
It is. Yeah, I mean, it's good. I'm looking forward to sort of paying a visit and having a look. To be honest with you, it's yeah, it looks good.
Yeah,
it really does look good. And yeah, like I said,
I mean, in got changing rooms in there, Miles. You can try something on.
Yeah, I've got the picture of changing room. CJ looks. Yeah, so we can try our shirts on. There was a good turnout. So there you go. There's a good turnout. King of Shaves have got a little stand there as well. These posters, though, I think they've missed a trick with these posters. I think they should have got CCFC Prints involved with these posters. Apart from they've got a company from London involved who deal with all the big clubs. I think that's a bit. I don't know. I mean, that badge there is completely wrong. It's two-tone, but there's no black on the elephant or on the football or anything. So that badge is wrong completely straight away. Fans don't want to buy something that's half-hearted. I think what they should have done here, I think, is got hold of these people like CCSC Prints, Martin, who does the kits, the little mini kits in the frames. We should be approaching these fans
Local
that
companies.
are making these lovely items to sell in the shop, because I think that they would sell, and it'd just be lovely to keep it local. It'd be nice to keep everything local as well. There's the shirts. That's probably mine there, waiting to come out, but it's not going to send it to end of September. There's I don't know who else ain't got one, but there's your shirt there, everyone online.
Plenty of them there.
There's your shirt. Yeah, it's used now. You better get discount. It's got fingerprints all over it. Who else we got? We got
Mark Harrington spent a fortune in there.
Mark Harrington spending his inheritance. Look, he's going to get he's bought it tonight, getting a refund on everything he's ordered online.
I don't blame him.
Look, loads of shirts. There's one of the centre stands. I love the white shirt. I think that's really good. It's got Hawaiian flowers. I love that shirt. Doug King again.
Do you think that shirt seems like it's got a bit? It always makes me think of Christmas. That white shirt. I do really like it, but it just
it's Hawaiian.
Yeah.
I mean, I
don't know. It just seems to get it just seems to have like a Christmas feel to it. But yeah, look, I haven't really seen it close up. I've seen it like got a bit fans wearing it from a distance, but yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, look at that, like with the mannequin, you know, just basic stuff like that with the mannequins in the middle and stuff like that. It's it's just basics that they're kind of slowly getting right. There's a few other things. There's obviously a few things that they need to get right because you should look like that mannequin right now, Miles. You've probably got the shorts and the socks, haven't you, as well?
No, mate.
But
no.
Yeah. But yeah, you know, we are on the right track.
Yeah, we are. This is normal everyday stuff for a football club, and we're getting excited about us having a big superstore.
Wait,
right? Okay,
Miles. Wait until next season when we get promoted. Wait until next season. You go to Tottenham.
I can't wait.
Honestly, that shop is like you walk round and you God, there's stairs, there's another floor. It's like walking around IKEA. You could spend hours in there and you still wouldn't see everything. It's
love it.
I went. I don't know if you've ever been to Barcelona, CJ. Barcelona's club shop is very similar.
Many years ago,
yeah, 3 stores there now, 3 floors. Sorry, and I was there in the summer, and it was fantastic.
I've been to Barcelona. I think it's bloody brilliant. As I say, I love club shops. You should be able to walk in, walk out with something every single week. Oh, there's something new. I'm going to buy it.
Fridge magnets.
I'm going to buy it. Something new. Going to buy it. I've got, mate. Seriously, my fridge is going to fall over.
Right, well, you can get personalised magnets in there as well tonight.
I've already got one. And Will got it at Burnley. Do you remember? It's the worst magnet on my fridge. It's absolutely rubbish. Right. Spot the ball. Last chance. Come on, get your guesses in. What number is it? Is it number 1? Is it number 2? Is it number 3? Is it number 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 or 14? Get your guesses in. Last chance. We're about to wrap the show up. So get your last chance guesses in. We do have some correct answers tonight. And we will be picking a winner very, very shortly. So get a number in. Pick it now. It's your last chance. It's Sunderland's game last week. This is from block 15. And the answer will be coming very, very shortly. Just to get a couple of questions, a couple of comments in before we come off air tonight. A couple more answers coming in here. Is it number 13? Trevor. And then we've got Sky Blue Hub 11. Alan Harkins 12. What's this one here? Sky Blue Hub says design your own fridge magnet. We live and die in these towns. Missed a trip by pre-ordering one as opposed to just going into the shop and buying one for me. It's just been a farce this year with the kits. But look, we're COV fans. We buy it, we collect it, and that's it. And that's what we do. We just do it. CJ went in there when I went to a gig.
Tottenham.
It's huge. Yeah, it's Tottenham. What else we got here? We live and die.
Genuinely, like you can imagine the size of the shop. Like, for example, that we had before. I don't know whether they've actually. I'm guessing they've made that one a bit bigger, haven't they? Basically, to make this superstar. But how big that was before? That was like the baby section at Tottenham.
Yeah.
Just for your babies and your toddlers clothes, and then there was another bit probably bigger than that just for the NFL. And it's huge. But yeah, we'll be getting to that stage soon.
We will. Any rumours going around? No. Ken's asked. There was no rumours going around. Wayne Vaughan says, "Did you get your prize shirt, Ken?" No, because you've asked for the away one, Wayne. So we can't get you that yet, I'm afraid. What else we got here? Luke Carter says the white shirt's Hawaii 5-0. I love the white shirt. I think it's fantastic. Pat Raybold was there tonight. Fair play
She
to her.
was.
So
Legend.
she should be. She should be there. Like it or not, merchandise brings in huge revenue. In 5 years' time, we will show. It will show. Well, this will show for it, and it will, because you've only got to look how much the shirts make. It could pay one player's wages for the year, couldn't it? So, and that's what it's all about, isn't it? Alan Arkins says, "I think Eccles is a very good player, but I don't think he's good enough for centre midfield automatic start. Prefer Sheaf, Palmer, and Ayari in the middle. Eccles is too timid and needs to work out in the gym. He's very technical minded, though, any old Eccles. I think he can fill in right. I mean, for such a young lad to be able to, the manager just to say to him, if we need him, like he did at Swansea, slot back into right back, we're going to bring on such and such into the middle. It's a fantastic option to have. Absolutely love it." Alan Arkins says automatic promotion this season. What do you reckon, CJ? Where do you think we're going to finish, mate?
I can't even predict at the moment. To be honest,
No.
yeah. I mean, I said at the start of the season, I thought it'd be Leicester, Leeds, Southampton, really. Just be, in some order in the top three, and the one that finished there will win the playoffs. But yeah, I wouldn't like to. I wouldn't like to predict now after seeing the league. Well, after seeing a few games, because, as I said, there's so many teams that have kind of changed their squads and what have you, and there's still a lot. They're still settling down. A lot of the players are. So I'd like to say that we could improve and go one better, fourth, third, and win the playoffs. But yeah, I've asked me in about another 3 or 4 games.
Will do. Now, listen, thanks for joining us tonight, CJ. We've gone on a bit longer than we normally do, because it's been a real good chat, and we had Rich Chamberlain on, the author of When the Sky Was Blue. You can get that book now. If you were watching earlier on, you can get his book on Amazon. When the Sky Was Blue, absolutely brilliant. As I say, I've started getting Microsoft Word to read it to me, because I'm not the best at reading books, and it's an absolute cracker so far. I've got to about page 20 of 248, so it is really good, and it's a real good insight. So get yourselves over to Amazon, get that on it. And we got one up for grabs, and the question was, going across the bottom of the screen, which Cov player was the last player to score a hat-trick at Highbury? If you get your answers into info@skybluefans.tv.co.uk, that would be great. So which Coventry player was the last person to score a hat-trick at Highbury? Get your answers onto info@skybluefans.tv.co.uk. I've just crushed a box of Rattler in my bar, so I might have to crack them open in a bit. But before we go, we have got a matter of spot the ball. Here it is, spot the ball. So, Ken, you said number 9.
I said 9, yeah.
And CJ said number 10. Okay.
And we're both wrong?
We do. You are both wrong. We do have a couple of winners. The answer is number 6. There it is. Number 6. There's the ball. So you can see it. There's an arrow pointing to the ball. That was in block 15 from the weekend. Can you see it?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can see it. Yeah, it's just where the King of Shave sign is on the blue. That's why I chose it, because you can see it. So, yeah, number 6. So we do have 2 correct answers tonight.
Oh.
Okay.
Who are they?
So we do have, well, I'm just going to ask CJ. CJ, could you pick a number between 1 and 2?
1.
Number 1. The winner of tonight is Mark Cunningham. Well done, Mark Cunningham. You have won Spot the Ball tonight. The other person that got it right, well done, Liam Varney. Excellent stuff. So 2 correct answers tonight. If you Mark Cunningham, if you can get us your address details sent over to info@skybluefanstv.co.uk. I'll get Ken to post them, or if you're in Coventry, he might even drop them off to your house for you.
Yeah.
Or if you live in Leamington, I can drop them off to you as well. So if you live in Tenerife, I can drop them off to you. That's where my bar is. But yeah, so well done, Mark. Congratulations. We'll have another spot the ball next week. And also, oh yes, I did ask a quiz question earlier on, didn't I?
Yeah.
On the bottom, just a bit of fun. I think I've got to remember what it was now. Do you remember what it was, CJ? Hold on.
It was, wasn't it the club that's not named after a place or something like that?
No, name two clubs that don't have a district named after them, and that they play in the Football League. So the answer is, do you know?
Port
Anyone
Vale
know?
and Forest Green?
Port Vale?
Ooh.
Forest Green?
Port Vale is one. No. Port Vale is one.
Tranmere?
No. Crystal Palace.
Is there not a place called Crystal Palace? Oh.
No. It's named after a building. So this is why. So Port Vale, okay. Port Vale is named after the valley of the ports of the Trent and Mersey Channel. Okay. Crystal Palace, okay, it borders with Sydenham and Selhurst, but Crystal Palace is named after Crystal Palace, which was built in 1850 to 1851.
Wow.
A man of all knowledges lately, I tell you. That's why we're the #1 live Sky Blue channel. I tell you, you know what I mean. And we're very professional.
Very.
Listen,
coal
guys,
shed.
have you enjoyed it? Oh, he's in the coal shed. I'm not in the coal shed. Yes, in the coal shed.
I'm just about to drive off now, actually. Yes, so I should be. It's getting very dark where I am. Dark and dingy.
Well, you're on nights now, ain't you, Ken? You're off to work now?
Yeah, I'm off to work. So just about to leave the CBS Arena car park.
CJ, should we go and crack open a couple of beers? Because we're not working.
Yeah. have a lovely
So thank you so much, guys. Thanks for coming on. A big thank you to our Watford fans as well, Justin and Carl. Also, a big thank you to Rich Cunningham. Don't forget to get over to Amazon and get his book, When the Sky Was Blue. Absolutely fantastic. I can't wait to finish it off over the weekend. So that's going to be really good. I'll probably finish it off Sunday when I'm getting over me hangover from our 5-0 victory against Watford. Or was it 0-0? I don't know. One of those anyway. But yeah, thank you so much for everyone watching tonight. So I couldn't get to all the messages. Busy show. Thanks again. Mark will be back on Sunday. I will be back on Saturday with Ken outside the Superstore. We'll even go in the Superstore. As if we don't get told off. But we'll go in. We'll have a little look round. We'll have a chat with some of the customers.
Let me in tonight.
Some of the staff, see what they think. Yeah. So there you go. Happy days. Anyway, take care, everyone. Big play up, Sky Blues, CJ.
Play up, Sky Blues.
Ken, play up, Sky Blues.
Play up, Sky Blues. Good night, everybody.
Come on, City. Good night, everyone.
Sky Blue Fans TV, for the fans, by the fans.